and she had been throwing water in my face, and my youngest son was slapping me, and I hadn't taken a breath in 2 minutes, and I was purple. And that was the first time. My name is Charles Walloch. Hear my story. I had a wonderful, wonderful childhood. I couldn't ask for a better loving family. We didn't have a lot of money, but we didn't want for anything. I'm really blessed to have enjoyed my childhood immensely. I'd like to be able to tell you why or how I became addicted to alcohol, but I don't know. I had a wonderful life, and I don't have an experience that specifically pushed me over into an alcohol dependency that I can put my finger on. It just became, it started out as a habit, and then once it became a habit, then it became a physical dependency. After time, things like grilling out or going to the beach or playing golf or whatever, I couldn't separate the using alcohol with the experience itself. They essentially became one, and then it was a physical addiction that, it was easier for me to just have alcohol than it was to try to stop using it. It's hard to describe, but you almost feel like you can't function without it, in the sense that when I had just the right amount, I was sharp, I could make good decisions, I could function. And if that was out of my system, then I felt like I wasn't making the proper decisions. I couldn't, function the way I felt like I could with a little bit of it in me. And then it became a fact that, if I didn't have it, then I would experience, stomach problems, headaches. I had stomach issues before anyway. The shakes and stuff that you always hear about, I would experience that. And rather than deal with it, I would just try to have just enough to not experience those things anymore. I hit my lowest point with alcohol in one day. I was at home and I got a knock on the door, and I hadn't made my rent payment for a couple months because it wasn't important to me because I was consumed with alcohol, and it was an eviction notice. And that's when my wife knew, at the time, that it was worse than she thought, because I hit it. My daily consumption consisted of about 3 to 4 pints of vodka per day. I did the math because I like math. It's about 1,100 calories of alcohol a day, and through the night too, because I couldn't sleep without it. And at that point in my addiction, I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to. I hated it, but I physically thought I had to. I didn't know of a way out from that need for the alcohol to continue on. I thought I had a pattern. I thought I had some sort of my arms around it, but I didn't. It was, I was fooling myself into the thinking that I could control it, which I couldn't. It was controlling me. So I had a couple experiences where I died. I had gone 3 days without drinking, and I thought I was doing really well. I started my detox symptoms were starting to subside. I was feeling good. I thought that I had it. It's sad, but it's something I experienced. I was sitting on the couch talking to my youngest son, and I don't remember anything. And I woke up, and my wife at the time and my oldest son were standing over me, and she had been throwing water in my face, and my youngest son was slapping me, and I hadn't taken a breath in 2 minutes, and I was purple. And that was the first time. And you'd think that would be enough, but logic doesn't come into play. And looking back at what alcohol has cost me was basically everything. My relationships, I alienated my family. Luckily, they stuck behind me and supported me. It ruined my marriage, Luckily, again, that's God's starting to restore some of those relationships. My kids, they didn't trust me anymore, and it was like 46 years old when I ended up having nothing and having to start over again. And thank God that I'm able to start over again. Because of the grace of God and support of family, friends, my rehab center, I have a future, and now I have health. My kidneys were shot, and the last checkup I had, my kidneys are like a 16-year-old boy. That's what the doctor told me, and it's a miracle. And now I have a future, and it's because I was sanctified, and God took me out of that pit, which was alcohol, and it was a low pit, and now I have a future that's bright because I don't depend on that anymore. I depend on Christ. And I know that God has a plan for my life. I know it, and I just want to. I'm going to continuously every day. I mean, my goal is to be better today than I was yesterday, and be better tomorrow than I am today. And that's how I approach every morning. Listen, it happened to me, and if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. There is hope, and don't think that you can do it on your own. You've tried it on your own, and it didn't work. Reach out to somebody and ask for somebody to help you, and you will be happy that you did.